Hey, Jay Williams, Waterfowl is for Christ, and the author of Committed to the Call, a 365-day waterfowl hunter's devotional. Tonight I want to read you a story called To Kill a King. The flock of big white birds appeared out of nowhere. 20 feet above the waves, they looked like popcorn on thread, just hanging there, evenly spaced and dangling. About 15 ducks leisurely flying in a straight line were suddenly above my decoys. The group spanned from one end of the spread to the other. It was only then, when they were directly in front of me, that I realized what I was seeing. We were in the presence of royalty. They were canvasbacks. It had been 16 years since I'd had an opportunity to kill a king, and I understood that if these birds got past, it would likely be another decade before I saw one again. I fired once, then again. Both shots felt good, but the bird that I was focusing on seemed unfazed by the 3-inch number threes I'd sent at his head. Last chance, I thought to myself as I squeezed the trigger the third and final time. This time the bird fell, but he wasn't dead and he dove. Seconds later, his head and neck emerged from the water. His body was hidden, but I knew he was huge. He looked like the mythical Loch Ness monster in those waves, and I was terrified. Terrified because I knew that he was too far now to put another shot on him. I needed to get to my boat and out to him as fast as possible. My partner, though, had no such inclination. Meaning well, he took a shot before I could stop him, and inadvertently helped the big bull pinpoint where the danger was coming from. The duck's confused swim quickly turned frantic, and he began to scramble for his life. I got in the boat and out to him as fast as possible, but our encounter wasn't fated to have a fairy tale ending. In the end, I had taken 6 shots through the waves at the constantly diving and surfacing head of that bird before he finally escaped. As I write, it's been years since that monster king broke my heart. As I write now, it's been years since that monster king can broke my heart, and I haven't seen another one since. Have you ever noticed that we, as men, tend to seek out the most beautiful thing just to destroy it? We set out to kill the most beautiful ducks and name them all King. King Mallard, King Canvasback, and people will fly all the way to Alaska and risk their lives to kill a king eider. It's not just birds either. We want to slay the biggest bear, the deer with the largest rack, overpower the king of the jungle. There's something that lies deep within the heart of man that covets the most breathtaking thing that he can find, and then take the life out of it and put it on display for all to see what he has conquered. The story is as old as time and seems destined to be repeated throughout time's end. About 2,000 years ago, the most beautiful king ever to grace this planet was hunted down and put on a pedestal for all to see. The King of Kings. He wore a crown upon his head. The very plaque above him bore witness to his royalty. The hunters, a group of men called Pharisees, helped put him there because he was the most radiant being they had ever laid eyes on. Pure, perfect, powerful, just like the trophies we find ourselves longing to remove the life from today. Not long before that moment, Jesus spoke the parable of the tenants directly to the Pharisees and made it abundantly clear that he knew their intentions, that they knew exactly who he was, and that he knew exactly what they would do to him and why. They, as usurpers of God's authority, were not willing to abdicate their thrones of power, even for their much-awaited Messiah, and instead of killing their own flesh-driven desires, they would kill the King of Glory, hoping to keep their money, their power, and their self-made kingdom. Sadly, we, as worldly men, are not dissimilar to the Pharisees. We do not want to die to self. We build our own kingdoms where we rule and reign from a false throne, a usurper's throne, preferring to crucify the true king rather than our own flesh-driven desires, just as they did. We can have our earthly kingdoms just as they did too, and we can all end up where they ended up as well. All we have to do is follow that vile thing inside of us that has always whispered, kill the king. The true King of Kings stands before our eyes this very day. What will you do? Will it be you who kills him this time, or will you finally be taken off of your throne? And the verse comes from Matthew 21:37 through 39. Finally, he sent his son to them, saying, "They will respect my son." But when the tenants saw the son, they said to themselves, "This is the heir. Come, let us kill him and have his inheritance." And they took him and threw him out of the vineyard and killed him.